Dejounte Murray navigated one of the toughest childhoods and made it to the NBA, where he has earned generational wealth and proved his supporters right. First, let's check out the harrowing struggles that Dejounte had to overcome. Number 7. Dejounte Murray's early life. Now, it would be putting it lightly to say that Dejounte had a troubled childhood. He was born on September 19, 1996 in Seattle, Washington. Murray grew up in the impoverished South End neighborhood, where he was exposed to guns, drugs, and gang violence from an early age. Dejounte still keeps his cards close to his vest and rarely opens up about his childhood years. Quote, "I've been real quiet and to myself about it because it traumatized me. To this day, it haunts me still. If you just think of the streets, a young kid in the streets, gang banging, around drugs, and just doing anything to get money, that was what it was. That's what I was. I wouldn't even say I was taught that. It was that or it was no way." To make matters worse, Murray also had a troubled home life. Murray bounced from one apartment to the next, one hotel room to another, couch to couch. He was used to getting evicted, which is a terrible thing for a kid to get used to. When he was 11 years old, he was arrested for the first time, and unfortunately, jail time was common in his household. His mother was in and out of prison, and his father wasn't around much. Even his great-grandma was part of the gang culture, so as far as Dejounte was concerned, gang violence, arrests, and close friends passing away were all just normal things. He has even said that almost everyone he grew up with had either passed away or is serving a long prison sentence. These two terrible options were clearly in Dejounte's future, if it wasn't for Terry Thompson, Dejounte's uncle. He decided to map out a plan to help his nephew. After Dejounte got out of jail, he moved in with his uncle, where he spent the next few years. He would occasionally spend time with Mitch Johnson, a friend of his uncle's. Johnson would go on to become an assistant coach for the Spurs, which is also the organization that changed Dejounte's life forever. But before that happened, Dejounte still had plenty more hurdles to cross. Number 6. Basketball obsession. The Seattle basketball community is an extremely tight-knit bunch. Nowadays, it's led by Jamal Crawford, and he, along with others like Mitch Johnson, saw the potential in Dejounte much sooner than Dejounte saw it in himself. Dejounte began receiving text messages and phone calls from Jamal Crawford when Dejounte was in the 6th grade. Crawford referred to Dejounte as baby boy and would often say that he was destined for greatness. Now, that greatness started to take shape when Dejounte joined the Rainier Beaches basketball team in the 10th grade. When he made that decision, his life on the streets came to an end, and he dove headfirst into basketball. It was also around this time that Dejounte began to make a name for himself, including showing out at a game that took place the night before Jamal Crawford's wedding. Dejounte played alongside several NBA players and held his own. Afterward, Matt Barnes recalled that he knew Dejounte was league-bound sooner or later. Among other honors that he received in high school, Murray was named to Washington Mr. Basketball by the Washington Interscholastic Basketball Coaches Association, as well as the Seattle Times State Player of the Year. However, despite being highly ranked, Dejounte had trouble finding a college program because of his past history. That history would follow him all the way to the league, which shows you the importance of doing the right thing right from the jump. But still, Murray was able to stay close to home as he took his next step. Number 5. Journey to the NBA. Dejounte chose to stay home and attend Washington. There, all Dejounte did was practice. One of his teammates and future NBA player, Matisse Thybulle, said, quote, "We would go to parties. We were all freshmen chasing girls. And I kid you not, Dejounte was in the gym shooting. We'd ask him to come out and he'd be like, 'No, I'm staying in tonight.' And then we'd find out he went and got shots up." Now, there are many stories of Dejounte grinding away in the gym. One of these is when Dejounte came to the gym around 10 or 11 p.m. with a box of pizza after already practicing for 3 hours in the afternoon. And instead of going back to his dorm, he slept on a giant beanbag in the locker room so he could wake up on time for his morning workout. Now, all of that hard work paid off, as he was named second team All Pac-12 and Pac-12 All Freshman team after averaging 16.1 points, 5.9 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 1.8 steals in 33.5 minutes while starting all 34 games. After his stellar performance, he declared for the NBA, but once again, his earlier actions would determine his future. Number 4, NBA career. On June 23, 2016, Murray was selected by the San Antonio Spurs with the 29th overall pick in the 2016 NBA Draft. Now that is pretty late for someone as talented as Dejounte. He has said that one reason he was picked so late was because of his past activities. He heard rumors that league coaches and scouts were calling around to see if Dejounte was still part of any gang activities and how much time he had spent on the streets. So he had a hard time overcoming his reputation. Still, Dejounte would be lucky in the sense that he was drafted by one of the best organizations in the league. During his first year, he spent a ton of time in the G League. However, when the playoffs came around, Dejounte got an opportunity to play, and he became just the 4th rookie in Spurs history to get a double-double in the postseason. The other 3 are David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Kawhi Leonard. Now, the following year, Dejounte would become the first player since Kawhi Leonard with 500 points and 300 rebounds in his first 100 games with the Spurs. At the season's end, he earned NBA All-Defensive second-team honors, becoming the youngest player in NBA history to be named All-Defense. However, just as Murray was about to break out, he tore his ACL and missed the entirety of the 2018-2019 season. Dejounte would not only return to form, but would go on to fulfill his potential by becoming a first-time All-Star in 2022. But the Spurs decided to rebuild, and Dejounte found himself in a Hawks jersey. The combination of Murray and Trae Young has had its highs and lows. However, Dejounte has shown out in Atlanta and garnered a ton of interest from championship contending teams around the league who see his elite defense along with improved shooting as the missing piece for their title hopes. Also, those 2 things that we mentioned, defense and improved shooting, have earned Dejounte some extremely valuable deals. Number 3, NBA contract. Because Dejounte was a late round pick, he came into the league on a 4-year, $6.3 million deal. At first, it took Dejounte a little while to find his footing, but when he listened to Kawhi Leonard's advice of playing defense, he found himself not only getting more minutes, but his overall value went up as well. That is why his next deal is worth 4 years, $64 million. What's even sweeter is that his next contract extension should net him a $114 million deal over a span of 4 years. So it is a good thing all those Seattle legends got together and made sure that Dejounte went down the right path. His path has also resulted in 2 of the biggest blessings of his life. Number 2, off the court. Dejounte is a family man through and through. He is in a relationship with Instagram model Jania Michelle. The couple has welcomed 2 daughters, Riley, born in 2019, and Iceland was born in 2023. He regularly posts pictures of his family on his Instagram, where he has over 1.3 million followers. On his feed, you can also see some of his supercars and expensive vacation flicks. Dejounte also made sure to have his brothers back. He surprised his younger brother with a brand new car for graduating high school. His brother Nate was given keys to a 2019 Dodge Challenger. Both of them were overcome with emotions. Dejounte also gives back to his community through the Shoes That Fit campaign, which tackles one of the most visible signs of poverty by giving kids in need new athletic shoes to attend school with dignity and joy. He was also part of New Balance's footwear donation, and that only makes sense as New Balance is one of the brands that has helped increase his net worth. Number 1, his net worth. Since coming into the league, Dejounte has inked 2 deals, one worth over $6 million and the other over $64 million. However, his new extension will net him more than these 2 combined, so Dejounte's future is pretty bright. He also has a deal with New Balance and will likely sign several more endorsement deals before all is said and done. However, for now, we would estimate that his net worth is somewhere around the $25 to $30 million zone, especially because not much is known about his business ventures and investments.